we have more Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Democrat success stories. Multiple people have been arrested in California who are not supposed to be in the country. And these wonderful non-citizens are walking around with blowtorches and deciding to cause more fires, to start more fires. I wouldn't expect anything less in a Democrat-ran city. Let's jump right into the video.
We want to go live to Woodland Hills, where Zach Sauce from our sister station KTVU in Oakland is helping out with our coverage tonight. And Zach, you've been in this Woodland Hills neighborhood that's typically quiet, but not tonight necessarily.
Yeah, far from quiet. This afternoon already starting off incredibly tense for this neighborhood. We're about 5 miles as the crow flies from the Kenneth fire. So people here were already on standby, ready to leave their homes. And then things got even more frightening for these neighbors. Around 4:30 this afternoon, we are along the intersection of Arcos and Glendo. Around 4:30 in the afternoon here, neighbors say they saw a man on a bicycle with a blowtorch. He was driving up and down the blocks with this blowtorch, apparently trying to light trash cans with tree debris on fire. At one point, trying to light a old Christmas tree, a dead Christmas tree on
This loser needs to be charged with terrorism.
Fire. Neighbors fearing that he could start, of course, another fire, deciding they had had enough, that they were going to step in. They followed this gentleman up the block, and that is where two neighbors finally decided to detain him. They had zip ties, and thankfully they were able to hold on to this person. The LAPD arriving a short time later, taking this person into custody on suspected arson. Now, I can tell you that through a police source, we have learned that this person is believed to have been tied to the Kenneth fire. We are blurring out their face. You are looking at this video of him being detained. We are blurring out his face because police have not officially come out and said that he is connected to the Kenneth fire. But this is what a police source is saying. Neighbors now here being credited with potentially stopping another wildfire from starting. Take a listen.
I just heard a lot of disturbance outside, and I heard someone in the front yard and someone else yelling over there, and there was a lot of yelling back and forth, and I didn't really know what was happening. So looked outside, and there was a gentleman with a blowtorch, like a propane blowtorch, like not a little one, like a full size, like commercial size blowtorch. And the other gentleman was yelling at him to put it down, and he didn't want to put it down. And we're like, no, you got to stop now. And he said, well, he's already tried to start a fire at my house. And so he tried to start a fire across the street. And he's like, he's got to stop. We need to detain this and call the police, get on the police. And so we called the police and basically detained him here until the police got here. And the police took him away.
The idea that this person may have started the fire, what goes through your head right now?
I mean, there's a lot of people on edge right now. It's terrifying. I've got 2 children inside that are very terrified of like what's going on. We can see smoke all around us. It's a terrifying time. You don't want to put anyone through this. This isn't what we're about. This is just scary for everyone.
With all the fires around us, everybody's been on pins and needles. Everybody's like seeing all the footage, and we're just heartbroken by everything. And we're like, that could be us, you know? So as soon as you see that you may have stopped something, it's like, I don't know, you feel really like you feel happy that you might have kept something from happening here, because we don't need any more. We don't need any more of the stress that we've been under. We've got kids. We're trying to go to school. We're trying to go to work. It's crazy. Crazy times.
Yeah, a crazy time indeed. Just really a frightening situation here, particularly when you look at some of the tree debris outside of some of these homes, some of the dry brush here, some of the dry leaves on these trees. It really possibly might have not taken very much for this whole area to go up. Back to you.
Yeah, we've talked about neighbors stepping up to donate or take care of people, but this is an example of neighbors stepping up to protect their neighborhood.
Yeah, it really is. Really remarkable. And, the neighbors talked about, not just wanting to help one another, but I mean, this is a situation where this is a neighborhood with a lot of families. Their kids were already terribly frightened about watching all of the fires go up in LA, the parents telling them, we might have to leave at any moment. So this was not a situation where anyone in this neighborhood was willing to take any chances.
The taxes in California are absolutely insane. They're insane. California, led by Gavin Newsom, didn't have water and fire hydrants because all the money was used for illegals to stay in fancy hotels and order room service. Gavin Newsom should be charged with homicide, with murder, with criminal neglect. And this case, this isn't one isolated case. There's been multiple people arrested in California with blowtorches starting fires. And you know what they all have in common? They're all here illegally. More Joe Biden and Kamala Harris success stories. More, Karine Jean-Pierre that the border is secure and you got nothing to worry about. When Trump tells you, Trump has been saying this for months. Every country in the world, it's not just one country, every country in the world is taking their prisoners and mental institutions and dumping them in America. And in all these other countries that used to be dangerous, crime is going down, murder's going down, sexual assaults going down, assaults going down. And you know what countries' crime statistics are through the roof? America's. Every blue city in America where they dumped the majority of these people. What a coincidence. Shocker. Shocker. I don't want to hear any Democrat in California complain about this situation. All the celebrities that preach to us how racist I am because I support Donald Trump. I'm a forever Trumper. I love Donald Trump. I'm a racist. All right. Now, these same celebrities who call me racist are now preaching to everybody that things need to change after they try to brainwash you and call you all types of names that if you don't vote for a Democrat, you're a Nazi, you're a neo-Nazi. But now that their houses are burned to the ground, LA is a zoo where your life is in danger every time you step out of the house. Your life is, I don't know how anybody raises a family in California. Like, you must be totally out of your effing mind to live there. People defecating in the streets, gangs everywhere, prostitutes everywhere. The cartels operate in California on American soil with impunity because Gavin Newsom allows the cartels to grow marijuana, to transport guns, to traffic people. He allows the cartels to do whatever they want. And remember, El Chapo and all these other drug lords, they've been sending threats from prison that if the American government doesn't let them free, that they're going to cause chaos. If you think that these people that are doing this have no connection to those cartels, then I can't help you. There's nothing I can do for your ignorance and bliss. And if you vote for a Democrat, you vote for what you get. Manhattan, Chicago, LA, every blue city in America, what does it have in common? Crime. Crime, and most of the crime is being committed by people who aren't supposed to be in America. But Donald Trump is the bad one because he wants to fix this. Donald Trump is the racist because he wants to put American citizens first and not people who broke the law. So he's Hitler and he's a Nazi and he's a racist. Give me a effing break. And see, this will never happen in Florida because Ron DeSantis will never allow it. Certain states will never allow this type of behavior. As much as Democrats, if it was up to Democrats, every state in America would be a blue crime city. Why they all live in their mansions, why Barack Obama lives in his $50 million house, preaching to everybody how America's racist and America's bad as he prospers more than anybody from America. As he drives to his gated community, eating $5,000 bowls of spaghetti with Gavin Newsom and, $900 steaks that he eats and everything. As he, lives the rich lifestyle and fills your neighborhood and my neighborhood with nothing but crime and violence and chaos. Democrats are an absolute disgrace, and liberalism, I'll always end it with this. Liberalism is a mental disorder. And if you keep voting for Democrats, what you see in California, people will say, that has nothing to do with crime. They're Gavin Newsom wanted, DEI is mandatory everywhere. In the hiring practices, in the fire department. You had a fire department grossly underprepared to fight these fires because they wanted to hire firefighters based on who they sleep with and where they're from, when it should be the most fit person for the job. You had the chief firefighter say, it's not my job to knock on your door and put your husband over my shoulder and carry him out of the house. Really? Then whose effing job is it? Isn't that what a firefighter does? They have the ability to go into a burning building and carry somebody or rescue somebody. Oh, no, that's not your job. What's your job then? Your job is to preach to us that we're all racist because we don't accept you as a firefighter? How could firefighters are some of the most physically fit people on the planet. Did you see a good majority of these California firefighters? What they look like? They look like they couldn't even walk a block without huffing and puffing, never mind go up a ladder. Gavin Newsom, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Democrats, keep up the great work of ruining everything you touch, every city you're in charge of. And if Kamala Harris would have won, she would have destroyed the entire country. Joe Biden was on the... If Joe Biden won that election, you could have kissed America goodbye. Excuse me, Kamala. I forgot. I have a tendency to forget. Nancy Pelosi and the rest of the Democratic mafia forced Joe Biden out. But if Kamala Harris would have won that election, you could... If you thought the last 4 years was bad, the next 4 years, it would have been an apocalypse. Every person on the planet should be thanking God for Donald Trump.